Hey, Bryan Young here from ProfitSourcing.com. Today's video is on entrepreneurial freedom and avoiding burnout. Now, according to CNBC and Forbes.com, burnout is one of the top reasons why new businesses fail. And I'm going to show you why. But before doing so, I'm going to provide a foundation that I think is really going to be helpful in us understanding this. Robert Kiyosaki wrote the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad. He also wrote another fantastic book called CashFlow Quadrant. If you haven't read CashFlow Quadrant, I highly recommend it. It's going to give you a good foundation for your entrepreneurial approach to business. And in it, he says that people fall in one of four categories. There is some crossing over from time to time, but generally, based on the individual's core values, you can determine which quadrant that they fall into. So the first quadrant is up in the upper left-hand corner. It's the E quadrant, which stands for employee. And essentially, it's for those who have a job. So we'll take a close look at what the E quadrant is. And I'm sure you know some people like this. Maybe this defines you, but a core value of somebody who's in the E quadrant is somebody who's looking for a safe and secure job with benefits. So their core value is that security. And that's ultimately what makes them an employee, because they're looking for positions, they're looking for jobs, they're looking for companies that they can find safety and security in, and typically they'll go after jobs with corporations. And in fact, our whole culture kind of moves people, the mass amount of people into this quadrant. They say, go to school, get good grades, go to college, get a degree, find a good, stable job with a good salary and good benefits, and you'll have made it. So that's kind of the mantra of our age. So that's the E quadrant. Down the bottom left-hand corner is the S quadrant. So it's for the self-employed or specialist, somebody who owns their own job. Now, to differentiate the two, the core values for somebody in the S quadrant is, if you want a job to get done right, you got to do it yourself. So it's very, maybe they have a business. It's a solo act. It may be them, maybe a couple other people, but they're basically doing all the work because they feel like if they don't do it, it's not going to get done the way that it should get done. And so it's really, you don't really own a business. Instead, you own your own job. You're tied to the job. The profitability of your company is directly tied to the amount of hours and time and effort that you put in. You don't put time and effort and energy in, you don't make any money, because you are the primary cog in your business machine. So that's the S quadrant. Now, if you move over to the right-hand side of the quadrant, it's really the right-hand side of the quadrant that gets me really excited. Hopefully it gets you excited too, if you're anything like me. Now, just before I move on, I just want to say that if you're an employee or you're a self-employed person, there's nothing wrong with that at all. There's nothing wrong with working a good job and having the benefits and the security that you're looking for. There's nothing wrong with owning a business and doing all the work yourself. There's a lot of people that are in those quadrants that are very happy, and if that's you, that's fine. But I know there's also a lot of people in the E and the S quadrant that are miserable, that want to move over, maybe possibly to the right-hand side of the quadrant. Maybe they just don't understand that the opportunity is there. So that's what this video is about, to show you that opportunity is there for those who want it. I'm not knocking people that are doing their own thing in the E and the S, but those who are stuck in the E and the S and are looking for a solution, looking for an escape. So B stands for business owner. So it's you own a system and people work for you. And now you can always tell the difference between the core values of an S and a B, because maybe on paper they look really similar. You see two companies, and unless you really dive in to see what those companies look like behind the scenes, they could look very similar, but in all actuality they could be almost polar opposites. The B quadrant person's core value says, I'm looking for a good system, a good network, and the smartest people I know to help me run my business. So instead of relying 100% on the business owner's qualities and tangibles and time, the B quadrant person, the B quadrant individual, is looking for a team of smart people, people that are smarter and more skilled in areas that the business owner isn't smart and skilled in, and plugging those in. So it's really, you're building a team based on the strengths of individuals, and then as a whole, you have a business system that's much more powerful, much more productive, and requires much less of your direct effort for it to run profitably. Then finally, really quickly, we look at the I quadrant, which stands for investor. So instead of creating a team and a system and having people work for you, as an investor, you have money and you put your money to work for you. So you spend, in both the B and the I quadrant, you spend a lot of time upfront, a lot of upfront effort setting up this system or investing your money, and then you allow your people if you're in the B quadrant, or your money to work for you. Core values of somebody in the I quadrant is, I want my money to work for me, not me to work for my money. So most people, like in the E quadrant and the S quadrant, have to work for money. They need to put hours in to get dollars. They're trading dollars for hours. It's an even swap. But in the I quadrant, you're investing money, and then after the initial investment's made, the profits that you receive from that investment are residual or passive income. And the same can be said about the business quadrant as well. Depending on what kind of business you're running, you can do the same thing. You can put a lot of direct initial effort into your company, build a really high efficient functioning business system, fill it with a team of competent people, then you can step out of it, and then all that upfront work and effort will pay off over the years and over the months in passive income, an income that requires zero or maybe very little amount of your time and effort. So in conclusion, if you want to avoid burnout, I encourage you to build a business, to move over to the B quadrant. Build a business that's self-sustaining. Build a business that provides residual income. Build a business that provides you the financial and the lifestyle freedom. I mean, these are the intangibles. These are the things that are going to help you build a company that lasts for a long time. Because one of the main reasons why people's businesses fail is they're stuck in the S quadrant, and they're doing everything. They're the bookkeeper. They're the customer service representative. They're the one that's handling logistics and shipping. They're the one that's doing the high vision stuff. They're the one that's outsourcing product. They're the one that's peeling off labels. They're the one that's meeting with managers. They're the one that's doing everything. And in the inception of a company, like let's say you're selling physical products on Amazon, the novelty's there and it keeps you excited. It keeps you going. But very soon, within that 3-year window that most businesses fail in, it starts to get old in a hurry. And you start to realize that you're putting in way too many hours, and you get burned out. But when you systematize and you outsource a business, you don't get burnt out. And then even if you get to the point a couple years down the road where you're not so excited about that business anymore, you already have a business system in place that perpetuates itself. You have the freedom and the flexibility to leave that business and start another one, but still derive the profitability of that business that you set up. And so it's not tied to your direct effort. It's not tied to your passion. It's not tied to how much attention you can give it because you've set up a business system. And that's what I want to help you guys build. So if you haven't checked out ProfitSourcing.com, check it out. It's in it. Greg and I, my partner, and I offer you the entrepreneurial approach to online business. We personally sell physical products on Amazon, and you can take the physical product, you can take that model of business, and you can transform it from an S quadrant business to a B quadrant business, and we want to help you take those steps along the way. So come check out ProfitSourcing.com. Thank you for watching this video, and have a great day.